every single life matters.
The primary responsibility of government, first of all, which is security.
We bank mostly on intervention rather than prevention.
Democracy is a government where power resides with the people.
Hello and a very warm welcome to you. This is You.Gov. On the show, we talk about government functions and responsibilities, and we also look at your corresponding obligation as a citizen. And of course, we try to instill the spirit of patriotism in every citizen. I am a citizen. I have a role to play in the growth and development of the nation. So you also have a role to play. It's Olomu-Agbodo. We'll go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
Love Plus website is your #1 trusted companion as we make sure we never leave you without a smile. Using a world-class design for an easier user experience across the world. We make sure that you get the freshest and latest news on our news platform. And on entertainment, we get you covered. Find out what's going on in the world of sports as we are there to give you numbers. And with our social affairs shows, we keep you in the know. Enjoy the Word of God each day, as one word from God will change your life forever. We also give you an opportunity to communicate with us through prayers and through your partnership. It's a whole new experience with the Love World Plus website, as we help you create your own atmosphere everywhere you go. Love World Plus, taking you beyond television.
You're welcome back. If you just joined us, this is You.Gov, and this week on the show, we are going to be taking a look at a very interesting topic, something that is more relevant every time, and it's been at the front burner of national discourse in recent times, and that's about community policing, state policing. We're going to be finding out if there is a difference between community policing and state policing, and if they are actually needed at this time. But first of all, we'll go on the street to get opinions of Nigerians on the street. Take a listen.
From my own opinion, security policing, number one, I see that it's going to help, number one, in combating crime first. Then, second, I think there should be a regulation behind it. Regulation in the sense that it has to be well organized and in such a way that there won't be any kind of misuse of any harm, because I heard that they want to give them arms so that they can be helping the police on the security. If they are going to give them arms to do that, it has to be in a way whereby it's properly monitored. At the end of the day, so that it's not going to jeopardize the community. Community policing is okay from my own perspective. It's going to help combat crime.
You know, everything in this country is being publicized. You know, they put politics in it. By right, community police should have been better to eradicate all this, henchmen. But the worst terrorists are the court boys. In my village, we checkmate them. I'm from Ikedru. So at Iho, my place, we've driven them. If you don't repent, you face the rod. And your father will not come to do anything. So what am I trying to say? It's a nice idea, community policing, but if they will not use it for politics, as in to intimidate the other parties, fine, is good.
If community police is in place, they are going to work at the grassroots. They protect both insider and outsider. They will not let any harm to happen to anybody.
Whatever form of policing you want to do, my dear, for crying out loud, do it and get result. Amotekun, or this recent security outfits raised by the states in the western region, I am not against it, and I will encourage everybody to key into it if that will be a way forward. Because if you watch the way we die on the highways, the way Nigerians are slaughtered on the roads by some forces that are not meant to be. For crying out loud, why would you not want to raise outfits that can secure you properly? And then, of course, with proper training anyway, because you have to give them the proper training before they can actually be called security outfits.
If you can be properly managed, we are in a country where people do anyhow. You understand what I'm saying? Hope it will not be managed by those who are not professionals. If you can be managed by those who are professionals, no problem about it. Because we are talking about security. We are talking about our lives. Is it not so? But the thing is this, in this country, so many people do a lot of things that are not supposed to be done.
Well, quite interesting. A lot of Nigerians made references to this issue of Operation Amotekun that came up recently, and they are saying that community policing is necessary because they believe that they are more interested in protecting their own property than the government. That was actually our opinion. But is that the real state of affairs? Is that the truth? And this week we have the office of a very distinguished gentleman. He is a legal practitioner and is also a security practitioner. He's actually the Director General of the International Institute of Professional Security, and he is Tony Ofoyetan. So it's a pleasure to be here, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us. And let's start this discourse this way. Give us a background to the reason we should even be talking about community policing or state policing at this moment.
I think if we have to go to the background of community policing, we'll be going to, immediately after the independence, when Nigeria was under the regional system of government, and then we had community policing. Each of the region had its own policing system. And it was actually very effective until at the time when police had to now be drafted into politics. And being drafted into politics now had to bastardize the spirit and the essence of policing then. So it became imperative to have a central policing system. And that was what gave birth to what today we call the federal policing system we had. And don't forget then that the ratio of crime then was quite low, except for the fact that there was also some level of trust that at the central level it would be more or less like an umpire, unbiased. But over the years, event has also shown the necessity for people to be actually involved in the policing of their own community and also their own lives and properties. You know, it now became imperative to have a feel of what contemporary policing system is all about. As at the time it metamorphosed from the regional policing system to the federal policing system, there was nothing like community policing, but there was community cooperation. And that's the difference. There was community participation. You had the family leaders, you had the head of communities, the baales and the like, actively giving necessary information because they trusted the police then. But over the years, the police itself, stabbed their own trusts. They actually made a mess of their own trust over the years because of the love for money. And there became a higher level of corruption, higher level of distrust, where you give police information and at the end of the day, the same information is coming to haunt you.
Wow. Because
somebody divulged that information. And as a result of that, people began to renege. They were no longer interested in obliging the police of fundamental information, apart from the fact that they became very brutal to the people. It was not even that bad during the colonial era. not minding that colonial government used the police against the people. But there was still this level of respect for the police. Now, what you have now is such that the central command system is at Abuja. And the way it operates is that when an event happened in Lagos, in Enugu, now the DPO would have to intimate the area commander. The area commander will have to intimate the CP. Then the CP will have to look at the AIG in that zone, intimate him. Then the AIG will now have to talk to the IG.
Wow.
You understand? Or at times even talk to the DIG in charge of that operation first before the IG. Now you look at the channel of communication, you will see that it's so bottlenecked to the extent that it becomes a very big vulnerability for the criminals to operate upon, knowing full well that the ultimate command is going to come from the almighty IGP. And the almighty IGP is right very close to God. And because of that channel of communication, it's a tall order. If you look at what happened in Enugu State, as at the time precursor to the attack, there was information. The governor had to call the CP that, look, this was what was happening in this community. And the CP said, I would have to get in touch with the IG. The IG, on being communicated, said, I need to get a leave from the commander-in-chief. And as at the end of the whole protocol, 81 people were dead. The whole community has been razed down. And the people that perpetrated the crime had gone.
Wow.
So you now see why people now advocate for community policing. Now, if you also look at what is happening in some of our forests, for example, just imagine you are talking about a full animal from Niger, a full animal from Mali, coming to come and kidnap in Anambra, coming to come and kidnap in Ogun, coming to come and kidnap in Ondo. It's the height of national security and insult to any nation. You know, now you see, there was a time the then Minister of Agric said they are not Nigerians. Now some other ministers and government functionaries go and say that they are headers, that you know, are just going about their own business and they were being deprived of grazing. You will see back and forth excuses. The painful part of it is that those excuses are coming from the government, not even from the perpetrators of such crime. It is the government that is advancing arguments in favor of this sect of criminals. And that's the painful part of it. You know, and that is why, you know, when you talk about community policing is a concept that involves the people from the grassroots level being able to be responsible to the security and safety of their own immediate community. And they work hand in hand with the policing system, the state police. Now, I qualified it as a state police. Under the present security architecture in Nigeria, community policing can never work. I am not unapologetic about it. I'm not diplomatic about the statement. Under the present federal policing system, community policing can never work.
Why do you say?
Why? Good. You see, the concept of community policing is such that it would involve the people themselves. The people themselves are the people that will do what? Be responsible. Now, when you talk about federal policing system, a federal policing system tells you that somebody can come from Maiduguri and work in Anambra, it doesn't make any difference. Somebody can come from Ogun State and work in Borno, it doesn't make any difference. Why? Because we believe that we are of the same enclave called Nigeria. But in community policing, you are talking of people that understand the culture, listen, the language, the topography of a particular environment. They know where to go. They know how to get there. They know when to get there. That they know why they should go there at every point in time. Because it will involve culture. It will involve tradition. I hope you understand what we are talking
Yes.
about. Now, these are issues that community policing will put in, consideration. I'll give you an example of the forest. They said, well, whether you think it's a myth or not, about 100 cows was struck by thunder and they died. And it became a news in Nigeria. Why? Because it is believed that that forest is a sacred forest. And the king of that village goes to that forest only once in a year. Don't take me technology. Don't tell me how it does, how it's witchcraft, is this. In every community, there are sacred places. Whether it is for the devil or it is for demon is a different case entirely. They have their own sacred places. Just like you have witches and wizards that have their own coven. Now, the same thing in community policing. Community policing take care of all this. And one thing you must understand also is this. The major challenge in security-wise now is talking about the Fulani herdsmen attack on villages. And from where do they operate? They operate from the forest angle. Then the question is this. To what extent has the federal policing system been able to have breakthrough in the forest angle? Most of the arrests that they've had always been assisted by the vigilantes.
In the community.
In the community. The civilian JTF. In the community. Why? Because they understand the terrain very well. They know where to go. They know the next river. I hope you understand that. Now, so if you look at it and you are looking at this omnibus federal policing system and you want to put community policing under, how will it operate? It's not going to be possible because you don't expect that man in the village to be waiting for the IGP order before he's able to go into his own forest.
That's unnecessary bottleneck.
I mean, it doesn't work like that. For community policing to succeed, it can only succeed better under a state policing system.
That's what I was going to ask you now, that for community policing to work, the people involved in that security architecture should be people from that community. They should understand the terrain, the language, the culture of the people. So I'm going to be asking now, is there a difference between community policing and state policing? And if there is a difference, what exactly is the difference and which one is preferable? But before you answer, we want to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is You.Gov, and this week on the show we're talking about community policing and also looking at state policing. We're trying to explore the differences and which one is preferable for Nigeria at the moment. And of course, we've been discussing with Tony Ofoyetan, who is a seasoned legal practitioner and also a security expert. He's the Director General of the International Institute of Professional Security. So at this time, I want to be asking you the question that I asked you for the break. Is there a difference between community policing and state policing?
Yes, there's a difference, except for the fact that community policing, for the purpose of structure and command, it's not the type of policing system that can stand on its own. It's a complementary policing system that is expected to either complement the state or complement the federal. But it is better off and succeed better complementing the state because this command structure is shorter. And apart from the fact that the command structure is shorter, it is such that it is better understood in terms of orientation, culture, and the like that were. In terms of funding too, it is also better sourced at that local level. You know, when you talk about community policing, let me give you an example of what community policing is all about. Take, for example, landlord association. It's so easy and it is less expensive. It depends on the way the government want to operate it. It's easy, it's less expensive. Now, all you need to do is every street in your state, first of all, identify how many streets do you have, registered or unregistered, new or not new. Are you there with me?
Yeah.
All. Then make it mandatory that they should have a landlord association. It's not going to cost you anything. Then all you need to do is have the name and phone number of the executive of each of the landlord association all over. That's all. Are you there with me? That's all. That's all. Now, what happened at that point in time is this. Now, any landlord that you are going to have, if you have a landlord that is coming with a new tenant, everybody will know. The one that is parking, you will know. Now, because even if this person didn't tell you where he's parking to, the landlord that accommodated him where he went to would know where he has. Then since you know where he's coming from, you'll be able to nexus it. You can see the way it's so easy and simple for community policing to work. Now that is at the metropolitan level. At the village level, it is even easier because in village is a community thing. You know strangers when they come. Right from the first time they enter the village, you know them. So what do? In community policing, what you expect is that if you are entering any village, before you settle down, go and meet the baale or the head of that village. Your name and your details there. That's all. Now you see with this, what you have succeeded in doing is that you have succeeded in making sure that everybody is bound-hearted. You understand? Yes. Now, when you do that, it is very easy one for you to apprehend a criminal. Secondly, it is easy for you to trace. And also, it is easy for the landlord to give you the information that you need. You know who landlord to hold in each street. Then it is easy for them to call your attention to those that are miscreants within that environment. You say, what of the police? The police can do that. The DPO can do that. I agree to the extent that the DPO can do that, but how long will the DPO stay in that station? The DPO can be there for just 3 months, and after 3 months, he's gone to Bayelsa. And he will be there for 2 years in Bayelsa. After 2 years, here you are. He is in Enugu. Within a space of 5 years, he has been to 3-4 states. So at the end of the day, you will see that because of the disconnect in continuity, it becomes distorted. And once procedure is distorted, it will be abused. So, you see, that is the way community policing is expected to work. Now, working with the police is not a problem. But what we are saying is that it would be better off if it is the people themselves. Look, in those days, when you talk about regional police, why it was very difficult for regional police officers to engage in high level of brutality was because if you do it, you are coming back home. You are coming back home. They know where you are from. They know your parents. Some of them knew how you grew up.
They can tell you your history.
Do you understand what that means? That is some level of restraint. Some level of restraint. Some level to tell you that behave yourself while you are doing this. And if you do it very well, the same community will still back you up to say that place you are going to, nothing will happen to you. They will stand with you. That is what community policing is all about.
Okay, so
once they know that this one is our own and is protecting us, they will also protect you.
They'll give you the support that you.
Yes. I'll tell you one thing. One of the reasons why it is easy for foreigners to come into people's farmland and forests and perpetrate crime and go scot-free is also because the traditional institutions are not well empowered and authorized to execute security within their domain. They can do it successfully and even better than the police, with due respect to the efficiency of the police. Not because they are not efficient, but because there are times that security goes beyond the bullets. Security goes beyond our strategy and our grammatical prowess. I will tell you that it also involves some level of metaphysics. And whether you believe it or not, it does happen. And that is where the traditional institution, that is their own area of strength. And that is their own area of professionalism. So if you add that to the conventional policing system, it makes a better policing. When you tell an Oba that, for example, if I hear of any kidnapping within your jurisdiction, you will be dethroned. Nobody in that jurisdiction will do it.
I want to say a very big thank you, sir, for your passion in speaking on this topic, and of course for the information that you've given us. Security is everyone's business, and of course government should take away politics from security. And of course, this is still You.Gov. We have some more tidbits up next. Well, that's the much we can take this week on You.Gov. We talked about community policing, and it is actually the way to go. Security is everyone's business. The government should ensure that the people, the citizens, are protected. But of course, you have your role to play. We are also trying to drive it home to the fact that everyone, if you see something happening in your region, in your environment, report to the appropriate authority. So we'd like to hear from you. We'd like to use our hashtag You.Gov and hashtag #LoverPlus to give your opinions on any of these trending issues. You can also download our app, LoverPlus, on any of the mobile app stores, and we would like you to go to our website for comments and updates on www.loverplus.tv. You can also send emails to us, and you can send comments to the number that will be showing on your screen now. I'm Itohan Olomu-Agbodo. God bless Nigeria.